Hi everybody, it's Kathy here from Kathy Loves to Scrap, and I'm joining in with Helen Ding and her 500 subscribers celebration hop today. And this was a grab 5 challenge where we had to use tags, stitching, 2 or more photos, a white background and do little mixed media. So I went with the mixed media for my background, and I'm going to use this stencil here from Scrapbooking and some light modelling paste. I also have my tags already cut out and ready to go. I'm using these 2 photos. I've only gone with the 2 of my daughter, and she was down in the city last Christmas in Martin Place. I'm using these stickers from Simple Stories to put some word quotes in. And I've got this paper range here, which I'm going to use. And I actually only go with the purples in this one. And the flowers I fussy cut out to build up. And it is a white background, and I'm going to use black as my framing. And the white background, I have terrible trouble when I photograph it. It either comes out a bluey colour or it comes out a grey colour. It's terrible lighting. So what I'm first of all starting off with is using my stencil and some modelling paste, and I'm putting it through the stencil, and I want it to be a bit chunky. I don't want it just flat on the background. I want it to have some dimension. So I've done that first, and now I'm using dilution sprays, also some Tim Holtz sprays, and I'm mixing in some colours of some black, some purple and some yellow, which are the main colours that I'm using throughout the layout. Once that's dried, I have cut down the size of the paper by 1/4 inch each side, and I inked it up with some hickory, smoke hickory stain from Tim Holtz to border it and give it some shadow against black. It's hickory smoke it's called. And then I've taken this strip here of the purple and white check, which is very handy when I come to do my stitching. And I've cut a 7.5 by 7.5 square with the floral paper. And my black paper, of course, I've used to mount my photos. Now, using black soot, I'm going around the edges, just edging it, not distressing it fully, but just inking the edge to give it an outline, and that will lift it off the page. Using my pencil, I've penciled in a cross-stitching pattern of hearts at top and bottom, and that allows me to go through with my awl to put my holes through the paper to make my stitching so much easier. And then using my black crochet thread here, it's actually crochet thread that I'm using, I go and stitch that heart in place. Now I put a bit of washi behind to hold it, the end of my thread, so it doesn't come off, and I cross stitch the heart into the piece of paper. And I'm not doing it all on screen for you, I'm just starting it off and showing you how it's done, and the rest I'll finish off screen and come back when it's done. So I put the cross stitch heart in the bottom, and I also do one to the top of this panel so that I have my stitching from the grab 5 completed. And so far I've done my mixed media, I've got a white background, and I've done my stitching. So it's a little bit fussy because the thread is a little bit thicker than embroidery thread, but I want it to be a bit chunky and bumpy on the layout so it stands out. So this cross goes in, and you can see that I've got those hearts now cross-stitched onto the paper, and they give it a bit of dimension, and they're in there. Alright, now let's start putting this layout together, and I need all my bits and pieces all lined up and ready to go so that I can just go and work for you. Alright, there's my background, there's my tags, and there's my 2 photos. Now, she's a funny girl. She looks at them, and the first thing she says is, look at the flyaways of my hair. Not, look how lovely I look in the photo, but look at the flyaways of my hair. Very strange child. Alright, so I'm finding it a little bit flat just looking at the colours, and so I've decided that I'm going to edge my square with a border punch, and this one here is a dotted doily edging, and just quickly edging off 2 pieces which I trim down and add to the floral piece, and that just builds the black with the framing and the heart, and it gives it that little bit extra to make it stand out. And I've reached the end of that roll of expressive tape, which I now have topped up with a new one. Go through quite a lot of tape, but that's okay. That's what it's all about, and that's why I like it, because I can get a lot done with one roll. So I've added the border to the outside, and that's going to go to the center of my page. And then I'm just lining up my, I'm arranging how I want things on the page. And this is where I see that I actually need that square to be a bit bigger than what it is. And this is where the beauty of the paper and alignment of photos and things come into play, because you can split it down the middle, as I've just done, just spread it wider, as you can see. And I'm now adding in and using those lines as my guides to get the layout together. Now, of course, if I'd been thinking, I would have cut it bigger to start with, but as always, my photos are always larger than anticipated, and I underestimate, but that's okay. No mistakes, just different. Tucking in my tags now, I'm playing around with the order, but because of the color arrangement, I want to make sure that it fits in properly and it suits the design. Once I've done that, I've decided I'm going to go and match the color down the bottom so that it fits in and it ties that background paper together, and then I have the black and whites in behind. Then I'm going to add in some phrasing. One says be happy, the other's good vibes only. I've got little moments, choose joy, happy and smile. So they're just the little word phrases that I add to it. I fussy cut out my flowers and I die cut the swirl leaves to build my clusters, and I have to have 2 clusters on this one just because of the design, and I'm building up my flowers and I'm layering them up on top of each other, and I glue down the base, and then I go back and pop up the little tiny yellow ones to give it some dimension. And I've added in a camera here because it's a photo opportunity of my daughter. I've put in some doodling, so I sort of have gone and added more than just the mixed media. I have got some doodling with my faux stitching here, so class as stitching or faux stitching. I have this puffy title which I'm going to put on, and it's called Chill, and I'm going to give a shout out to my friends on Bash Scrapbook Stash from one of our wishes. And I'm putting in some Nouveau drops here. I put Chill as the title because that's what we call Lily. Her name is Chill. Come here, Chill. That's what we call her. So I've built my clusters, and I have some silver Nouveau drops or pops of colour. And now I'm putting in some clear Nouveau drops over the lens of the camera to give it a 3-dimensional pop out on that camera. And that is basically my layout, but when I looked at it, I can't do white space very much, so I've added in some stamping now, some script stamping, just to add some more detail to that background and that mixed media attack to the background. And there's my layout of my daughter from Christmas time when we were in the city down looking at the Christmas lights. And this is at the water fountain at Martin Place. So you can see that I've got my stamping in there, my clusters, my mixed media background. I've got my tags and my sewing and my 2 photos. And I've put it all together for this hop to help Helen celebrate her 500 subscribers. So thanks for watching. As you can see, photo filming with white is difficult, but I like how it turned out. You can follow me on Instagram where I have all my layouts, and don't forget that